Why do you want to join Friends Forever? I can remember Tegan asking me this during the interview phase of the application. I remember feeling struck. Why do I? At the time, I had no answer to this question. I just said something about college applications and meeting new people and went on with the interview. I had no idea what FFI could do for me. I'd like to start at the beginning. Not the beginning of my life, because that would be a bit too much to fit into a 6-minute speech. But last year, around August 2nd. Last year, I had quite a bit going for me. I had a couple close friends, good grades, all my exercise was starting to pay off, and I started dating my girlfriend. But that's all people saw. Maybe that's all I let them see. In reality, I was broken. Underneath my shell, there was a lot of pain. During this year, my anxiety and my depression took hold of me and dragged me into a stinking pit that I wasn't sure I could escape from. This year, the scars in my mind of my father, telling me how awful I was, all the gaslighting, the attempts to turn me against my mom, became too much to bear. I began to seek some sort of release from all the stress and the pain, so in my blindness, I turned to self-harm in order to feel better. But the bliss was momentary. With this addiction to self-harm came many thoughts of suicide, to the point that at times I became afraid of driving, because what if some intrusive thought was just enough to push me over the edge? But I never stopped fighting. It was hard, but there were a few things that always kept me fighting. The first was that I always tried to think about how I could help other people with my story. Second, my friends always encouraged or supported me and made me laugh in times of trial. Finally, the theater. Theater was a light at the end of the tunnel, my golden ticket. Theater had become my outlet, my art. I could use every ounce of my being and all of the negativity in my head and pour it out onto the stage. The moment I stepped on that stage, I became a new person, and all of my problems seemed so far away. Now, if you couldn't already tell, theater is a major passion of mine, and it's something I would like to do as a career. I want to use my story to help others who have gone through similar experiences. One of my favorite musicals is called Dear Evan Hansen, and there's one song called You Will Be Found. The basic moral of the song is that no one is alone. And that is the message that I want to teach. No one is alone, and things will get better. I believe that this is a very important message, the most important message for people to get better. I know I could have used someone to tell this to me. In 2017, 2,241 youths aged 15 to 24 were victims of suicide. I intend to change that. By sharing my story with the world and being an example of someone who fought through their mental health problems and recovered. During this week with FFI, we were introduced to John Broderick, a man who has devoted the last 5 years of his life to talking about and raising awareness for mental health. Our talk with John has inspired me to try and make a change. In my school, mental health is never talked about, and I want to bring up this issue to try and help other people with their mental health. So now I think I have an answer to that question that Tegan posed all those weeks ago. I want to be a part of Friends Forever in order to gain the skills needed to change the world into a place where no one is ashamed to talk about mental illness and everyone has access to the help they need in order to live their best lives and be the best possible versions of themselves that they can be.